First, Texas family, though, has a new mission to protect our state's correctional officers. This comes after their son died while trying to restrain an inmate at the Wainwright unit in Lovelady, Texas.
KCBD News Channel 11's investigative reporter Shaylee Kidwell spoke with Jovian Motley's mother about their family's loss. She joined us in the studio as she explains their mission to ensure correctional officers have all the necessary resources. Shaylee?
Karen and Abner, Jovian Motley went to work on November 13th, 2023, and never came home. We first told you about Motley's death when his mother testified before the Texas Sunset Advisory Commission earlier this year. She asked members, made up primarily of state lawmakers, to do more to protect correctional officers. This as the case against the man charged with Motley's death moves forward. Tamika Motley is proud of her son.
Jovian has always been courageous. He's always been one that loves a challenge.
27-year-old Jovian Motley worked as a correctional officer at the Wainwright unit in Lovelady, Texas. That's not too far away from his hometown of Houston.
He was excited about, being able to make a difference. I think he saw himself in a lot of those, the incarcerated people.
While Tamika knew the job came with risks, she believed her son was safest at work.
Violence started getting to an all-time high here in Houston, and I just was worried about him. Going to the grocery store, getting gas at night would make me worry. I couldn't sleep until he made it home. Working double time and overtime, to me, he was safe.
On November 13th, Tamika didn't hear from Jovian. That was unusual.
Because he would never go a whole day without calling and at least checking in and letting us know he was okay.
Instead, Jovian's family received a call from his girlfriend who had heard something happen to him at work.
When we called the unit, I think I said, "This is Jovian Motley's mom." I was told that there was an incident and I wanted to check on Jovian. And so I remember the person putting the phone down and they said, "This is Motley's mom," and I don't know what to tell her. They came back to the phone and said that, there was an incident, that they're working on him. And you tell a mother that you're working on their child, that sent me into just total disbelief. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? So they said they'll call me back in 5 minutes. That was the longest 5 minutes of my life.
Tamika couldn't sit and wait. She and her husband got in the car and started to drive toward Lovelady.
I said, either we'll meet them at the hospital or we're going to just keep driving to the unit. Some kind of way, I was just hoping that somebody would have called and said, it's all okay. But that call never came.
Tamika says the Texas Department of Criminal Justice allowed her to watch video footage of what happened on November 13th. That video has not been released, but she says a team of officers, including her son, went into a cell to restrain an unruly inmate. Tamika says the cell was so dark, it was hard to make out exactly what happened, but every officer walked out of that cell except for her son. According to this Houston County indictment, the inmate, Jabari Lewis, is now charged with capital murder, 3 counts of assault of a public servant, and 1 count of deadly weapon in a penal institution, identified here as a razor blade. Tamika says after Jovian's death, other TJCJ correctional officers came to her with their own security concerns. Concerns she took to the Sunset Advisory Commission last month as members reviewed the agency.
All officers not having radios is an issue because inmates have been allowed or able to pop the locks, get out of their cells, attack officers. One officer was brutally attacked and had to be rushed to the hospital, and he didn't have a radio to call for backup.
In this meeting, the executive director of the TJCJ said it was not feasible to equip every correctional officer with a radio, a response that Tamika says won't stop her from fighting for safer working conditions for officers.
I wish someone would have alerted me sooner. I wish I would have known. Then possibly I could have been an advocate for Jovian. But nothing that I do today is going to bring him back, but I can make sure that this doesn't happen again.
The Sunset Advisory Commission has made its final decisions regarding the recommendations made by its staff and the public. Equipping every officer with a radio is not on that list. We'll tell you what the commission will take to the full legislature tomorrow at 10. Karen and Abner.